After Shi Jingwen announced Yi's victory, his fame immediately exploded across Huadong University and the whole country. The people of Yang City were so proud they beamed at the mention of his name. On the hot search charts, the top 10 spots revolved around Yi. From the shocking one match to the principal declaring him a new legend, countless people online stepped forward claiming to be Yi or his acquaintances to grab attention. Meanwhile, the nation was in peril. The martial saint was injured, the grandmaster's fate unknown. The cities had fallen. The emergence of a new prodigy like Lin Xuan made the public see him as a divinely sent savior. At City No. 1 High School, where Lin Xuan once studied, his homeroom teacher held a live screening for the whole school to watch Lin Xuan's victory. The atmosphere was electric. Everyone was proud and shouted his name. The teacher marveled, realizing he hadn't been wrong about the student's potential. However, in a corner, Wang Tong, who had once bullied Lin Xuan, scowled in displeasure at seeing his success. Questions began appearing online. Why did the principal personally announce Yi's victory? What was the relationship between the two? Was there some power backing Yi? This move drew the attention of many organizations, especially since records showed he was only an orphan child. The Dragon Badge organization quickly issued an official statement. Yi's identity is of top secret special classification, and all parties must cease speculation and spreading false rumors. Otherwise, the Dragon Badge would take strong measures to deal with it. At the Dragon Blood Society, everyone felt like celebrating a great festival. Yi had brought prestige to the society and made rivals regret their actions. The happiest were Yan Zhengsheng and Aoyemzi. They regarded Yi as the hope to revive the society. Amid the jubilation, the two suddenly realized the protagonist was absent. Yan Zhengsheng then said Yi had told them he had urgent business and had. In Yi's dormitory, room 42F3, while the whole world talked about him, he paid it no mind. He was contacting the Mad Doctor via a 3D screen. The doctor reported he had retrieved the golden gene bottle that Yi had hidden in the city. He immediately asked, "Is there a way to activate it?" The Mad Doctor solemnly said he could open the gene vial. Previously, he had been one of the key engineers involved in the Golden Gene project. However, the vial contained an integrated tracking transmitter. Once opened, it would be located instantly, and the Thunderstrike bird would hunt it down. Hearing this, he asked if there was any way to mask the signal. The doctor answered that he was buying materials to build a shielding room, estimating half a month to complete it, and another half month to decrypt the vial's complex security mechanism. He praised him and told him to work quickly, while stressing that safety was the priority. The contact ended, and he turned off the device. He fell into thought, recalling the Mad Doctor's memories and realizing Prometheus had secretly collaborated with Xinjiang Heavenly Nation. Back then, Prometheus used its vast resources to cultivate a demon embryo for Xinjiang Heavenly Nation. But when the demon embryo formed, they betrayed and struck from behind. During the demon embryo's cultivation, Prometheus's mad scientists secretly intervened, weakening the fiend upon incarnation. As a result, Prometheus captured the first living fiend in history, and dissected and partitioned it for experiments. With a fiend possessing life levels beyond Lamstar creatures used as material, Prometheus pushed biological research to insane limits. From this arose many achievements, the most famous being the Eden Project. The goal of the Eden Project was to create an artificial god, a supreme intelligence to unify all humanity, protect Lamstar from other realms, abolish national boundaries, and gather all humans under the absolute equitable distribution of the divine model. Brain, turning Lamstar into the legendary heavenly realm. Additionally, there was the Fire Seed Plan, an intent to alter humanity's genes to upgrade the species. This was the precursor to the Golden Gene Project, later developed by Thunderstrike Bird. Lin Xuan sat on the sofa, pondering the gene lock. He felt the matter with Prometheus was extremely complicated. He had once been misunderstood as having ties to that organization. His intuition warned him that he would sooner or later be drawn into that vortex. He then remembered the Azure Dragon badge that a senior had given him, but which he hadn't studied, because he was busy helping Moen. Now that he had free time, he decided to begin cultivation during sleep. He placed the badge under his pillow, adopted a sleep cultivation method, and entered the martial fate realm. Opening his eyes, he felt cold raindrops striking his face. He stood up and realized he was wearing tattered knight's armor, surrounded by corpses. He guessed this place had just endured a brutal battle. Then he noticed scorched patches on the ground. The flames seemed so fierce that the rain couldn't fully extinguish them. Examining a nearby soldier's body, he found strange claw marks, clearly not made by humans. There were large muddy pits on the ground like the footprints of a gigantic creature, and embers still smoldered around them, the rain unable to cool them completely. When the rain stopped, he removed the heavy armor, wondering how people of the Western Kingdom could fight in such cumbersome gear. He picked up a usable greatsword from the pile of corpses and walked, thinking that in the martial fate realm, he couldn't use his full power, and must temporarily rely on local weapons. Perhaps the owner of martial fate, like an NPC quest giver, was about to appear. Not long after, the sound of hooves thundered from afar. Two fine steeds pulling an ornate carriage stopped right in front of Lin Xuan. The masked coachman, a tall figure, tied to the post. He reached and halted the carriage decisively. The carriage curtain flipped open, revealing an old man with a stern face, wearing a black hat that covered one eye and short hair. He only glanced at Ye Li, snorted coldly, and shut the curtain. The coachman immediately cracked the whip and drove the carriage off without bothering to notice Ye Li. Ye Li could only call out in surprise, "Hey, leaving already?" But then the carriage suddenly slowed. Even the strong horses trembled and couldn't pull the vehicle. It turned out Ye Li had grabbed hold of the carriage. No matter how strong the horses were, they couldn't budge it. He gave a half smile and asked, "Old master, running off so soon? Aren't you supposed to give me a mission?" The old man threw back the curtain again, this time with a shocked expression. "This brat is strong enough to hold a carriage," he said angrily and coldly. "I have nothing to say to a thief like you." After hearing the old man scolding, Ye Li caught the keyword thief and asked back. Though they were from different eras, communication flowed through the spiritual body, so the old man understood his words. The old man angrily explained that years ago, a blue-haired fighter had stormed in to seize his family's inheritance. His descendants were powerless, so he had stayed in the martial fate realm to preserve their honor. The other, after breaking through, forcibly took the succession. He looked at Ye Li as if he were the same kind of person, someone who came to plunder his family's legacy. Ye Li was speechless at the old man's stubborn attitude, and said bluntly, "I won't interfere in your personal grudges. But as an MC quest giver, you can't refuse to do your job." Seeing the old man still ignoring him, Ye Li quickly thought of a plan. He drew the great sword and, with two swift strikes, severed a wheel, rendering the carriage immobile. The old man panicked and shouted, "Hey, what are you doing?" Ye Li smiled slightly. "Sorry, old master. To prevent the guiding NPC from escaping, you must come with me to explore the